I don't remember if I was waiting for something specifically at this point. He had agreed to help Cahill organize people into getting ready to move the army
Yes.
camp again.
I remember what I wanted to do with you now. I was actually just stalling for time to remember what I wanted to do with you.
Sure, seems legit.
I'm kidding. So you head out to, like, start assisting with that. And obviously the first thing that comes with that is supplies, right? Like, we need to figure out how many supplies we have and how long we can make it before we need to stop again, and we need to start getting those loaded on carts and packaged and all that other fun stuff. So you head off to begin that tedious task. And a lot of it was done, but then kind of in the chaos, there's probably, like, some organization that needs to happen with some carts that have been smashed, and we need to find new carts or repair carts, and we gotta find people to do that, and then we gotta repackage supplies, and we gotta figure out what's good, what's gone bad, etc., etc. So do me a favor, roll me a manipulation check to kind of, like, help coordinate that.
Manipulation, you say? Well,
Yeah.
I can't imagine how anything could be more effective than persuasion under the circumstances.
And a 15 is definitely good in this situation. They're simple folk, and they now that they have somebody to, like, kind of direct them, you do a great job at, like, leading people to and fro and getting people appropriated in the right places. However, there is some interesting things that begin to occur while you're there. You notice that there is some people who appear to have some, like, very shoddy, very hastily sewn patches on their clothes, like on their left sleeves.
Specifically the left sleeves, okay.
Specifically the left sleeves.
Patches...
And so,
emblematic patches?
Yes, it appears to be like a... You would recognize it as probably like a military style patch, but
okay.
These are all the common folk that have this.
Interesting.
Roll me a religion check, and you have advantage on this roll, by the way.
That will be helpful.
That's a good advantage. You recognize very quickly that it is... And the reason why I made you roll is because it's not perfect. These are obviously very quickly, very kind of shoddy jobs, so it's a little bit muddled. But you've seen this symbol enough to recognize that it is the symbol of Shalia. But it has an addition to it.
Aylin's got a cult.
It's in traditional white would be the color of Shalia. And then in gold lettering, kind of over top of it, there's the large letter A on all of them.
Interesting. Okay.
Do you say anything to anybody about that?
I think he will as he's finished. When he has a break in whatever directing he's doing, just sort of wander over and see how would he approach them. If I've picked up an appropriate, like, Shalyite greeting in my time with Aylin.
Yeah, totally. Aylin, what would that be? What would that be?
You place your hand over your heart and bow slightly forward.
Right.
Do you say anything, though, to, like, recognize it as Shalia?
I'll heal you from the dead.
No. I would say blessings be to her lady.
Sure.
Right. So he'll do that and to just check quickly how they react.
Yeah, and I think the first one you go to is probably like a middle-aged woman. She's probably got, like, a kid in tow who's helping, like, carry things. And she puts her hand over her heart and she bows very low and she says, "Blessings be to her lady and the Lady Ash River. How may I be of assistance?"
I was curious, as I am organizing matters here in camp. You're, actually, sorry, retcon that. He's going to go with his wonderful rogue class feature and instead do the
talk for a minute to
a
figure out.
local
Yeah,
a local
dialect.
accent.
Sure.
Yeah, so The, um, and now I've forgotten what it was that I wanted to say. Right. I'm just helping out here in the camp, and I couldn't help but notice you seem to be wearing. This is to do with the revelations around Lady Ash River, is it not?
Oh yes, this is the symbol we've developed for her. She's the most holy of us all. She can embody the divine goddess in her will.
That's remarkable. Did you receive any advising from her on this? Have you sought her counsel?
She has accepted our blessings.
And what is she having you do now?
We've not received any instruction from the Most Holy, but her charge, the lady Daniela, I believe her name, she has been most helpful in guiding us along the path.
Ah, yes, she is ever wise and effective in her interpretation of her ladyship's wishes. What has she directed you to, then?
Well, you understand that I don't understand many of these devout things myself quite as eloquently as some, or as beautifully as some others, as Her Holiness, Lady Ash River, but from what I understand, we are to help heal and guide others. It is the Lady Ash River, the one most holy's desire.
That is the example that I have always only ever known her to provide to others.
Yeah.
Don't let me hold you up, then.
Yeah, and she goes, "Wait a moment, kind sir. You know the Most Holy? Personally?"
I was fortunate enough to meet her only recently, and obviously I'm not a member of her devout, but I have met her and I have seen her
Yeah, roll me a deception
working
check.
late into the night.
Roll me a deception check.
Ah, deception. Good thing got that expertise.
Ooh.
Really good thing I've got that expertise.
I'm gonna compete it because it might be possible that I beat you. This lady has no bonuses, but you never know.
Odds aren't bad.
Oh! It's a good thing PCs win ties.
Oh, lol.
That's
So
a
yeah,
good roll.
yeah, that's a good roll. For a moment, she has like this recognition because like you were up on the wall when the announcements are given. Like you've been kind of a public figure at times. And so, like, there's this moment where she's like, "You kind of look no, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Be on your way, and may the kind blessings of the Lady Ash River be upon you." And she trundles off with her 10-year-old or whatever in tow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how's the organization going? Can I just dart away?
Yeah. No,
to Aelin?
you are equipped to get the fuck out at this point.
Fantastic. Where might I find her? Or rather, how long would it take me to find her?
So yeah, I think that is the problem, right? So I think it's a good.
I mean, first fair guess, her hospital?
Right, absolutely. But I think that we need to talk to Aelin to see how she's recovered, because last time we saw her, it was a little bit scary for her. So Aelin, what's your situation like currently?
I think that it took her a bit, but I think she's finally gotten herself together and realizes that there are two people that she needs to speak with immediately, them being Daniela and then followed immediately by Cahill. So I would imagine that Arkady could probably find her headed back into town or the encampment to locate those people.
Yeah, probably at a very hurried rate, right?
Oh yeah, she looks kind of panicky, if you will.
Yeah, even
Not
more
poised.
flighty than this morning, right?
Yeah. Not poised in her normal way.
Yeah,
Not
so
even
you
close.
probably intercept her, like, you're like, maybe I should check the hospital. So you're on your way there, and she, like, turns a corner heading there as well, and you're able to flag her down and catch up with.
Fantastic. Ah, Your Holiness, I was just looking for you.
I think she barely hears you even acknowledge her, and I think she's like kind of looks over to see if you're even talking to her. Petrov, I'm sorry, I'm a bit distracted at the moment. And she's kind of like looking around, not looking at you. I really need to find Daniela. Have you seen her, or possibly?
I have not, but I did speak with your Lordship Cahill. He is most concerned about you, but I am certain he has many other things to be concerned with. I was also going to go looking for Daniela. She has been explaining the will of her holy ladyship Aelin Ashriver to the common folk. You have become quite an inspiring figure, it would seem.
Daniela's been explaining my will. Arkady, what are you talking about?
You have developed a devout following, possibly disciples. I am not certain how you arrange these things, but there are folk wandering wearing the symbol of Shalia with an A for Ash River, I believe, seeking to assist any they can find under the directions they have received conveyed from your will by Daniela.
So Aelin does that thing that puppy dogs do when they're trying really hard to understand what you're saying, but don't quite understand, and their heads tilt slightly to the side. And I think she says, Arkady, you must be mistaken. That cannot be the truth.
Oh, they were quite certain. We should definitely go speak with Daniela on this matter. She probably knows, better understands nuance of situation. Clearly, whatever works you performed last night truly sparked something in the hearts of your congregation.
Yes, well, it certainly sparked something. She kind of like trails off and says, regardless, we need to find Daniela immediately. Let's
so.
Okay.
She starts to kind of walk off before you even like acknowledge that you're going to follow her.
Yeah, Arkady's just content now that you're probably not behind your own cult.
Yeah, and I think that
if there was any doubt.
I think that exactly. There is probably like a culmination of what's been going on for the past little bit, where you guys like round a corner in the front of the large building that you've turned into the hospital here. You guys round the corner, and there is a queue of people standing outside to go in, and none of them look injured. And we can see that there is like a couple of the nurses and a couple of like the healers or whatever are like kind of like organizing people and like lining them up along the side and whatever. And as the two of you approach, someone recognizes you, and it begins a chain reaction in which there are perhaps 50 to 80 common folk attempting to all get as close as possible to you as soon as possible. Arkady and Aelin, how would you deal with that in the moment?
Given Aelin's current mental state, I think deer in headlights comes to mind as how she would react. Not expecting people to be waiting there, not expecting them to, even after the scene that she had seen, you know, with people bringing her blessings, I think that she thought that was just thanks for saving them. Right. You know, like, and that was it. That was the end of it. Mm-hmm. And so I think she would just kind of stand there dumbfounded and not really be able to react much.
What about you, Arkady?
Arkady will use a bonus action to hide behind Aelin.
Yeah, you just duck and roll behind Aelin's robes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Aelin, you're like getting like kind of pushed up against the building, and like there's a bunch of people there like just trying to touch you, like just trying to like reach out and grab onto your clothing, and some people are like offering, like you see people with like, again, the same sort of stuff that happened, like, you know, a nice set of silverware, like actual silverware, and like there's people with all these gifts, there's people with like flowers that are like tossing them at you. There are people that are holding babies, like trying to like getting jostled around and trying to hold babies out to you. And like there's this moment of like, what is going on? And then we hear shouting over the crowd, "Aye, move out of the way! Clear a path! Clear a path!" And we see Daniela like shield out, like kind of using it to herd people out of her way. And she's like, yes, we will see people in a moment. Yes, everybody get out of the way. And like she creates this barrier, and you see that there are a couple of other people with her, like other knights and guardsmen doing this, like with their pikes, like holding people back like a barrier, and they create this tunnel where the two of you are ushered into the hospital area, which is still kind of in full hospital mode, right? Like there's still a ton of people injured and a ton of people that need seeing to. And you're kind of ushered in there, and when the door closes, the noise changes. It's more of an echoey kind of babble noise as opposed to like the cries and hoops and hollers from outside. And once you get inside, Daniela like closes the door, and she actually like bars it. You see her actually like put a bar into place to keep it closed, and she turns around and kind of like massages her forehead. And both of you roll me insight rolls. Okay, so both of you are able to notice Daniela very clearly hasn't slept yet. And it's about midday. Like, you can see the bags under her eyes. You can see, like, she's basically on her second wind right now, but if there were any less things going on, she'd be passed out on her feet. But because she's so busy and she's, like, just been going the whole time, she's still awake.
I think seeing this and slightly out of breath, Aelin just kind of goes up to Daniela and she says, "Daniela, what is going on? What is this? Who are these people? What is happening?"
She kind of looks at you and she shakes her head and she's like, I wish I could explain it myself, at least in any proper terms, but it seems that your acts of heroism last night and she kind of like, she pauses and like kind of looks at Arkady for a moment and then back to you for, almost for approval, Aelin.
Aelin nods.
Yeah, and I think she says your flowering, or whatever you will call it, last night has caused quite the stir within the camp, especially among the common folk.
Sorry, her what now?
And Danielle almost looks aghast and kind of like looks at Arkady and then back to you like, I thought it was okay, right? Because she assumed it's okay to be, you've told him, but you didn't really.
Well, she wasn't quite sure exactly what Daniela was going to say.
Daniela's not really sure what she's going to say, so I'm purposely trying to use...
I think that she's still... Yeah, I think that Aelin is beyond trying to keep it a secret at this point. And
it's clearly not going to be anyway.
Yeah, she's like, I mean, clearly she has a mob out front, so it's kind of out in the open now. So I think she just...
Mob's a strong word. I say
a
the most
large
devout.
group of devout individuals. And I think she just turns to Arkady and she just says, "It doesn't matter what you call it. Apparently I evoked some sort of power. Again, as I told you this morning, it's still a bit hazy." And I think she turns back and like just kind of like holds her head, like she's still freaking the fuck out here.
Yeah.
So like this is just adding to her anxiety.
You will understand my curiosity. I have seen you drag many back from the brink of death, but this does not inspire such uprising in faith.
I think Daniela laughs and she says, "Well, when you literally become that which we see as angels, or the gods and goddesses themselves. That tends to invoke a desire to know more, let's say.
Yes, I can imagine that it would. Aelin?
The glee in your voice is not lost on her.
It is on Daniela. She's too tired to care. Which is probably why she was so blunt.
Of course.
Are there perhaps details you have been forgetting to share with some of us? Details which it would seem are now running rampant and undoubtedly expanding onto ever greater heights throughout the camp.
Well, Arkady, as you can see, it is one of those things that is best kept secret. Unfortunately...
It is far past that, yes.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, that is not the case any longer. Deep sigh.
Deep sigh is appropriate.
What would this secret be then?
I think Daniela described it the best way I know how.
Well, actually, roll me a religion check, and I'm actually going to roll for one for Daniela too, because
Okay.
you may know a thing. Maybe you've put some pieces together at this point.
Yeah, I would say most likely, but... Nope.
Nah, you're dunsies.
Who is Shalia?
I'm just too upset like right now, okay? I'm freaking out.
Who
I
even
just
is Shalia,
don't
even?
understand what's going on anymore.
Please stop,
okay?
Megan. I'm asking you to stop. You're triggering me.
I do it so well, though. Come on.
Oh, Daniela, on the other
That's
hand.
the problem. You do well.
So I think
We can't
Daniela.
lose you, Megan. We
Like,
can't.
what even is religion? I don't even
Megan, stop.
understand.
Please.
All right, I'm done. Continue.
Daniela probably, she probably like wrings the back of her neck, and she's like, "Here, come with me. I think I might have found something." And she leads you back through the hospital. And the people that are in here, Arkady, you can see that a couple of the nurses and healers in here have that patch now. But they are clearly too kind of caught up in their job. But as the group of you pass, and Aelin, you recognize this too, there's you hear mutterings of like Holy One, the most devout, Savior incarnate is probably a word that they use.
Jesus.
And Daniela leads you to a back kind of like office area, and you can see it's kind of covered in like scrolls and books and stuff. And Daniela's like, I stayed up most of the, well, truthfully, all of the night, doing some research into how to handle this. But as far as handling it, that is something that perhaps you are better equipped for, Arkady. But as far as what it is not an unheard of thing for the deities to have a more direct influence on what occurs on the mortal plane. I believe that either indeed, Aelin, you have been chosen to be a champion, perhaps for Shalia, perhaps for some other deity. I'm not particularly sure, but there is an obscure reference here and one that may fit, Aelin, if it is not a how do you say, comfortable subject with you. It seems as though it is technically possible that you may be descendant from someone who was deified in their time. Have you ever, and forgive me if this is too personal a question, but have you ever encountered anything unusual with our faith? Perhaps be it more direct intervening from one of the ones we worship. you hear the cat in the back?
Yeah,
Or
I
is-
just read Arcadi.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Liam. Anyway, I think Aelin absorbing this information, although always having an inkling that may be the case, she
Yeah.
turns to Daniela and gives her a very serious look and says, "The reason I am still alive, I believe, is due to this direct intervention that you speak of."
That is most concerning, but it appears that if this is indeed a force for good, then perhaps it is a blessing instead.
Yes, a blessing.
Do you interject at all, Arkady, or are you just standing in the corner room as far away from the
kind of
angel as
glancing
possible?
between the two of them, trying to figure out if there's a particular reason they're still dancing around details and specifics. I think he will step forward. Lady Ashriver, this may be a... I confess I do not understand what hesitance Daniela feels here, but if we are to be understanding whether you may in fact be scion of an ancient apotheosis line, what event do you speak of?
Arkady, I believe I once told you.
You told me.
about...
Yeah, I think you told Hannibal.
No, I believe I told at the very, very beginning. I know I told Hannibal the whole story,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe he asked about my family. No,
Yes.
Yes.
I think you did ask about my family once. You asked how my family was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Aelin would start again and say, you once asked about my family, about my sister and her untimely leaving of this world. Did you not?
I suppose that was a subject, yes.
I will elaborate on that story a bit more. The real thing is that that day in the river, we both slipped into the water. I dove in after my sister to save her. Very quickly, I was taken by the river, and as water filled my lungs, I heard a voice. It was what I believe was her lady herself. She had told me that it was not yet my time, and shortly after that I appeared on the bank of the river as if nothing happened. My sister, however, was not spared the same fate. And, like, this is clearly really hard for Aelin to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Daniela the whole time is, like, kind of gazing off into the corner of the room, like, not making eye contact. Clearly she knows the story as well.
This, then, would sound like one who has indeed been chosen for a purpose.
Indeed. Shortly after, I immediately went to the church to do more research about this lady and become her disciple, but I soon realized that it seemed I possessed a bit more than just the priests and priestesses around me. I still do not quite understand it, as you can see.
Is this not a great honor for you, then? To have been chosen by your goddess for her holy purposes? Should this not be a subject for celebration, or at the very least, satisfaction? Determination? Very few people have the luxury of knowing where they fit into the cosmic flow of events and days and gods and wars and everything.
It's interesting to me that you see this as clarity, Arkady. I find this as more confusing than just being a common folk in this world. Would you not agree?
I am not one of your faith, but I think if I had faith that my God had given me a purpose, had a purpose in mind, but had said nothing more except that I was to find it, I would have faith that they had chosen well, and that whatever they intended would be on the path that I would follow.
As the way I've been living my life. I've been devout and listening to her whenever she feels the need to deem me with her thoughts. Unfortunately, she still has yet to share her ultimate plan with me. So I wait.
To be honest, I tend to assume that the plans of the gods would be great enough that, should the mortal attempt to understand them, we would burst like seed pod.
Feel a bit like that at the moment. It appears as though her lady decided to imbue me with greater powers than I maybe could have handled. I feel slightly like I may have let her down. I do not know. I'm sorry, Arcadia, that I'm not being more descriptive here. I'm a bit confused.
I can understand this disorienting, but I do not see why you think you were disappointed. Whatever it was that you were granted, clearly you saved people. You have earned their devotion.
Yes, but by taking their devotion, I have taken from her. They now put that A upon her name. I never wanted that.
Yeah, this perhaps once the initial fervor has had chance to die down and your disciples are less in a frothing, you can speak to them about how to modify their chosen heraldry. But as I say, if you were chosen for these gifts, this purpose, if your God chose to give you this at this time and in this place, perhaps their reference is also a gift to you. Perhaps this is part of what you are meant to do.
Yes, Arcadi, I believe you are quite right. It's just taken me a bit to process that. It is good of you to remind me what a great blessing it is to have been chosen. The rest of it is minor in that regard. I just think I need a little bit of time to process, but unfortunately, this circumstance we are in has left little to no time to do that.
Well, you seem to have inspired a veritable herd of attempted field physicians to spread through the camp. With luck, this may somewhat reduce the burden you carry.
Yes, they have done such a great job. It was more than I could have expected. Hopefully they can do some good in my stead.
He looks over to Daniela. They seem to have taken direction enthusiastically.
Yeah, and I think Daniela simply states, she kind of just shrugs and she's like, well, I can certainly say it was a lot easier than when we started. So, if we are looking at the goblet half full, as they say, at least they are listening quite well nowadays.
Well, I am honored, I think, that you would trust me with these difficult memories. I, of course, being a layperson of your faith, I think have little else to offer under these circumstances, and other tasks to attend to before the camp may move once more. But do find me if there is anything I can offer Her Holiness.
You can start by not calling me that.
You see Daniela kind of like bites her finger, almost as if she was going to laugh.
I fear I will be torn apart by mob, but I will keep this in mind for future.
Yeah.
Thank you, Arkady.
He bows and exits.
Mm-hmm. And so he departs and leaves Aelin and Daniela in there. Aelin, you said you wanted to talk to Daniela about something?
Yeah, but I don't think I want to do that on screen.
Okay. All right. It's totally fine.
I'll let you know.
So we flash over to the battle that is raging. And we're gonna progress this along a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is just take some damage off some people.
Particularly fair. No.
I'm not dead.
I'm not dead yet.
There is something I really want to do to
Mm-hmm.
the
Oh yeah,
main
this
guy.
this will not include you guys. This is only the creatures, just to show damage being dealt. Alright, and this is basically just doubling the damage they took. Everybody.
This person, by the way, looks humanoid, correct?
I mean, if ever there was someone that possessed giant blood, this is it.
It's a humanoid, though, which counts.
Correct. Okay. Oh, and the knights. Oops. There we go. Excellent. Okay. So, we're gonna go around with Kree and well, actually, I should ask Marilla. So, Marilla, what would you do? You still have things in front of you. You're still not fully aware of this entity that has arrived. So, what would you do?
Well, I would hear the second thunder, right?
I mean, you hear the thunder raining. Yes, you might assume it's like a magician of some sort doing something. But you definitely hear it, yes. You don't know what's going on or where it is.
Yeah. I mean,
You could hunt.
that's what I'm debating whether I wanted to do or not. I feel like, in this case, like, generally when thunder is happening, because she knows Hannibal can't really cause thunder, or hasn't shown the ability to do so.
Uh-huh.
Bitch, you don't know what I can do.
That's a good point.
Again, as far as she knows, he can't do that. So, and he's the most magically adept person that she probably considers in the arcane arts.
Yeah, totally.
What about Milo?
Savage.
Gosh,
Fucking savage.
Fucking
Milo never did
savage.
shit except
I
counter
mean,
spells.
he did disappear
mean,
from a tower, so
Milo-
I guess if you count
I
that.
cut out numerous fires
Listen.
which were going to kill me.
Listen, Milo
Yeah, where were
did
you a
bring
couple days
Hedwig
ago?
to fights. He did bring Hedwig to fights.
Exactly.
Yeah, but no,
That's
you
all the
weren't.
reason I knew.
There is one
Literally,
problem though.
End of argument.
You weren't there for the fire that you needed to be there for. Jordan, bring it up on screen.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a good point.
gonna call for it now, really?
It was this fire.
You weren't there for
This right here. Jackson, you unplugged your headset.
I didn't do it.
Sorry, I'm
yeah, see this one right here?
single-handedly creating psionics.
I don't know if anyone notices, but Vi is also at 0 health on this screen, just in case anyone cared.
Yeah. Anyways,
Fucking savage. That's
You know what?
What's wrong with you? You can't just say that
You
about
know what?
somebody. God,
You know what?
never
Fucking
works.
just remove her. She's not here anymore.
Stop it, guys! You are horrible.
Anyway, Marilla, what are you gonna do?
I think headhunting is.
Sure. It is an investigation roll. And maybe even, like, you could also say something like, I want to find the source of the thunder. It's still an investigation roll. It's still the same roll, but...
You cut out completely to say blank and an investigation.
It is an investigation roll to find the source of the thunder.
Okay. Alright, then I'm gonna do that. Because I probably, like, look over to Farron as we dealt with it, and I'm like, you've heard that thunder, yes? As I make this, like, investigation.
Yeah, you're both, like, breathing heavy and, like, just having fought this battle. You're on the other side of the battle. I don't think you find it with the 14.
What the fuck?
Do we not see the Sauron light?
No, because you're very far away. Like there's approximately 1,000 like of the Norsemen between you and where that is.
Yeah. So, I probably just say with that roll as like I can't really attain or get anywhere with it. I probably just scoff and say, "It's no matter. It's too far off. We must deal with these Norsemen."
Sick. So you begin hacking away then?
Yeah, essentially.
Cool. I like it.
Oh, do you want me to roll for that?
I mean,
thought that took my
if
action.
you want to attack them, sure.
Yeah, I thought headhunting took my full action.
No. That's kind of just like a, while you're going around, I'm on the lookout for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could it be correctly said to be part of your move?
Yeah, probably. Part of your move is a good representation of it.
Yeah. So, here we go. Just hacking away at some peeps. Hey!
Hey!
For fucking.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's whatever. I got a D6. Yeah. Yeah. What about it? I mean, yeah, I could roll an extra
2d8.
Oh yeah, 2d8.
Yeah. 2d8 is significant. Can kill
Yeah,
a
might
couple
as
more
well.
of these motherfuckers.
Your own thunder.
And I feel like. I mean, yeah. I mean, totally. I think I'm just gonna blow everything at once.
Why not?
So I'm gonna spend that bardic. I'm gonna spend my last spell slot for a divine smite.
Yeah. Roll it all.
So that's 68.
God, that's so much damage.
Incoming ones.
Holy
Hey!
shit.
Shit.
That's
Nice,
so much
nice,
damage.
nice.
That's like what what Arcadi
Above
does
average.
or something.
That's literally average damage. I shit you not.
Yes, it's true.
But still, you end up destroying. You're just like carving a path through them. Farron, you're kind of off to the sidelines. Morella's like taking people head on. So what do you want to do?
Do I see the monsters?
Roll an investigation check. No.
I'm still got this huge
It's
gash in my
huge,
side,
giant.
so
How do you not see it?
There's 1,000 other big fucks in the way.
Yeah, there's 1,000 other really muscular men and women in the way. So
But
Yep.
thunder. No, I'm just kidding.
so a bit more trickle healing myself.
hey,
Hey,
nice. Do not add +4 because you're not an angel.
Rip.
Damn it. But yeah, I kind of slowly walk up behind and shoot arrows over Mirella's shoulders.
All right,
Knock her up.
you guys are a pretty good team, man.
I'm glad.
You've
we
killed
don't-
like 10 of them. It just in that realm, you've killed like 10 of them. Just fucking kill them. Kree.
All right. So, me and this big guy are having a contest. Quite so.
He seems to be winning slightly.
Would I be able to know if this guy is a fiend?
I mean, it would be hard to tell. I think it's actually a perception check. It's not whether or not you can identify. It's whether or not you can see underneath the giant plate mail, because it could be anything under that.
Yeah.
Like, it could be an amorphous ooze controlling the plate armor, for all you know.
Ready. Ooh.
You're not sure. I mean, it appears humanoid, but there's no gaps or anything in the armor that you can identify that would be able to tell you whether or not it's a fiend or not.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and casty this Hunter's Mark on him.
Cool.
And I'm going to go ahead and swing away. As I do.
So you get an extra 1d6 damage when you hit it with an attack. Holy
There we
shit!
go.
Nicely fucking struck. That is a hit, indeed. Indubitably.
And of course, Noct has to come along with me. But not this time.
He misses.
Yeah, Noct
He
does
does.
miss. But
Once. Oh my god.
that's 19 damage. And not insignificant.
It's about the same he did to me last round. It's fine.
Indeed. But it is Noct's turn. I've removed everybody else from the order because it doesn't matter.
So Noct is a little mad at being bopped last round.
He got bopped in the face.
Yeah, it was not nice. So Noct is going to try and knock him prone.
Sure.
He has
pretty
disadvantage
good.
on strength checks.
That's pretty good. Succeed.
Yeah. There we
So
go.
you like Noct like grabs him by the leg and like wrenches up, and he kind of stumbles and tries to land on it, tries to get his shield down in time, but doesn't quite, and he kind of falls to his back. Something happens though. I need to roll.
Oh boy.
Haha. The creature that he flew in on, it turns, and that lizard-like head arcs up and directly at you. And I need you
Oh boy.
to make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Myself or Noct?
Both, probably. It's a cone effect.
Am I calling this?
No, I would say you're behind them.
So I have a couple of things here. I need to go and make sure what they are, because I think if I make this, I don't actually take
Evasion.
any damage.
Yeah, do you have evasion? Is that part of the deal?
You can choose
Yeah.
that. That's only for
Hunters.
yeah.
Oh,
And even
damn.
then, that's level 15.
Darn.
No, it's something else, because this is the stupid one. Yeah.
The lizard
variant?
thing?
Yeah, this is the variant, so it has like a whole bunch of weird stuff about it. Whatever. I'm just gonna. Oh, actually, never mind. It's my my feat, mounted combatant. If your mount is subjected to an effect that allows it to make a dex saving throw to take only half damage, it takes no damage if it succeeds, and only half if it fails.
So just your mount gets that.
Yep.
Okay. So you still have to make the dex save, but your mount gets to dodge all of it if he makes the dex save. Which one was that for?
That was Noct.
Okay, so Noct's fine. He takes no damage from it. You, however, take full damage from it.
Nice.
Full on 27 damage.
Welcome to the Hurt Club.
I still have 70 health. It's fine.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah,
you're-
remember? Remember?
He has
Yeah,
all of the health ever. Dane, it's Dane's turn.
Alright, Dane's gonna do one last chance to try to survey. Now that especially that the big guys have come in, I hope he has a chance.
Okay.
Let's see, give us a number. That's nature.
That
Perception.
is nature.
What a shit.
It's 12
What?
You know what?
now.
I'm going to give it to you on a 12 this time, only because he's been doing this for a couple of rounds consecutively.
Yay.
So
Pity.
you are able to see that the men are quite wounded. They appear to be almost at half. Well, not almost, but getting there. Maybe 60% or so.
Snap, we've been laying into them.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Absolutely.
the wolves, or do I not get those as a
kill my
bonus?
own.
Since the wolves are engaged with another enemy, I would say you have to make another roll for that.
Okay, cool. Now for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to risk it.
For the biscuit? Okay.
Oh my god.
All right.
What?
Okay.
Do.
If this goes well, this will be the best damn spell you've ever pulled in.
Okay.
Think this goes well.
I do get advantage.
Oh my.
Jordan, I
Yeah.
hate you.
I'm sorry.
Come on, man.
I don't make
Any
these things up.
special creature,
I do these
it
things
always
because
has
I love you.
advantage. Always.
Yeah, no, that's kind of always how it goes. He's also proficient in these.
Yeah.
Didn't even need advantage.
Whoa.
So yeah, so I think here's exactly what happens, Hannibal. What does this look like when you try to dominate him?
It looks like a brand appearing on them.
Okay, so like does it appear on like the forehead or whatever?
It appears like all over their clothes, like a chain link.
Okay, so like right across the chest or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we see this begin to appear, and there's a feedback, and you get this horrible shriek, this
Son of a bitch.
and it kind of rings in your ears for a moment, and you have to shake it off, and you realize that the individual is standing up and does not appear affected by what you attempted to do.
Alright, in that case, I'm going to run to engage.
Okay. You want to run like up in melee, or you want to like stand back a little bit?
Fuck yeah, I'll run up in melee.
Okay, sure. It is his turn. So he stands up. He like slowly like puts his sword in the ground and pushes himself up. And he kind of like roars with this bestial roar, but you can tell it appears humanoid when he roars. It's just like ah! And he holds a sword up, and you see this this energy begin to flow into it. Let me just make sure. Yeah. You see this dark, like necrotic, maybe black smoke energy kind of start waving around his sword, and he points it. He points it at Noct, actually, because Noct's the one that knocked him down. So he's going to throw. I still don't think, since you didn't attack him in melee and haven't really done anything, Hannibal, he's not going to attack you. But I think he's going to throw 2 at Noct and 1 at Kree again.
Let's see it.
I'm going to try to charm him, guys, don't worry.
So the first one at Noct. It's a
Okay.
miss. Second one at Noct. It's a hit.
I will not take that.
Okay. And then third one at you, which is a miss.
And it's a miss.
So, but I need Noct to roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh man, Noct is good at these.
Also,
Yeah.
I should say necrotic. Not radiant. I don't know why it doesn't say that. Okay, cool. So yeah, he stabs Noct. You take the full damage. You take the 15 radiant damage, or necrotic damage, technically.
Necrotic. Yeah,
Plus the
this is
12
not a
damage.
paladin. It's a paladin.
Was.
Was.
Yeah, and so Noct takes that damage and is not blinded. The smoke like covers his face and he shakes it off. And then his mount comes running over, bounding with his wings kind of flapping, and kind of skids to a halt, like standing over him. Now, this one can see you, Hannibal.
Fuck you!
And it gets 3 attacks, and it's going to do 1 on each of you, and I'm just going to do them in order as they show up on the character sheet. So, that means the bite is on Hannibal, the horns are going to be on Noct, and the claws are going to be on Kree. You unplugged your headset, Jackson. Thanks.
That wasn't me.
Oh, wait, who was it? Okay.
Awesome.
Hannibal, this is for you.
It was me.
Noct,
That's a hit, but however,
and this is Kree.
I would like to do something.
Yes.
First, I need to do math.
Okay.
I've done math.
Oh God.
First off, now then, hold on. Constitution save.
Succeed. Your hex
I'm
remains.
And then I'm going to... Shibloosh.
Man, you still have spell slots left?
That's other thing.
Do you need to roll a d20 before you make that roll?
His silence is all.
I sent you why I have it.
Oh, correct. Okay. Totally.
Nothing suspicious here, guys.
Yeah, I remember now.
He's
So
a
yeah,
demon worshiper.
I'll make
it's all
a
good. We
dex
just have to put him
save.
in the dirt eventually. It's all good.
Dex. Fail. Takes 23 fire damage.
Fuck you!
Indeed, and that appears to hurt the which one did you take? The bite. So the lizard head, it chomps down on you, and you just like slam your hands into it, and this flames lick out from you and burn it, and it kind of rears back and roars. And then I think we see all of you roll me a perception check.
Alright, here's...
Yeah.
Good.
I didn't roll a 1. It's all good.
This is Hannibal's, and this is Dane's.
Okay, so Hannibal and Dane, you guys are a little distracted. But the rest of you, and this is probably most appropriate for Morella and Farron, you begin to hear horns. And they sound kind of like didgeridoos, right? Like the...
Oh God, they're Australians! Run!
Farron,
Quack and mate.
you know
Kangaroos are coming.
you know exactly what these are, Farron.
Okay.
They are the charging horns from the great empire of Kislev, and they're bear riders.
Oh.
And appearing on the battlefields,
Yes.
riding down across the hillscapes,
My plan is working.
is a group of bear riders. And charging.
Reinforcements.
They begin swinging their massive maces and slamming into things, and charging in. And we see up here at this battle right here, you see the armored individual kind of turns their head, and the creature behind him kind of leans its neck down, and each of you can take an attack of opportunity. And knocked, obviously.
Obviously. Hello?
Hello? I'm waiting for the attacks of opportunity.
Hmm?
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's
Yeah,
up?
The tax of opportunity.
Are you guys going to attack of opportunity him?
Who?
The knight.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
The
that's it.
knight is running away from you, Jackson.
Oh,
What
sh-
is
you-
happening right now?
Fuck you! Hex! Shablaka!
Everything
Holy
is perfectly
God.
fine for me, so literally it's just hearing you guys go it's fucking insane.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That
Okay.
was a whole bunch of crazy.
So you deal some mediocre damage to him.
I did all right.
And he grabs the mane of the lion that then lifts its head as he's just kind of like riding around the neck, and he gets in the saddle after you've pinged him. And he points his sword down and he says, "You have not seen the last of a cold Hellbrass. I will return with more, and you shall fall beneath my sword." And then he kicks his heels, and the creature with 3 heads begins to take off with its bat wings. And the men begin to retreat. And that is where we end.
Okay. Yes.
We can figure out what you're going to do about that in a moment.
So the Norskin men begin to retreat.
Yep. Oh yeah. The battle is won.
All right. Can we get some fan laying down fire on all of our men?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll take care of that. All that. Don't worry. But the battle is won. You have completed. Congratulations. You've won the battle of the plains of Middenstag, is what we'll call it.
That was cool.
I also feel like we reduced our losses by a lot, considering we were going up a fort much larger than ours.
Mm-hmm. The element of surprise is handy.
The element of surprise with cavalry is very handy.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't even get a chance to get on their horses. So, inspiration. Who does the group think deserves inspiration?
Alright.
Oh, and by
So-
the way, because I know you asked.
Oh, a cold. Gotcha.
Yeah.
We were set by a man. I forgot his name.
I think most befitting. I think the return of Arkady definitely signifies what he's done this session, especially with the talk with Cahill and him.
Games are
I
just
think
better
that-
when Liam's here. Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
100%. 100%.
I mean, they are better than without him. So-
I agree. I agree.
My inspiration vote would be for Arkady as well, 100%.
Yeah. I mean,
100%.
if it wasn't for the interesting
All day, every day.
Cahill talk, it would have been for Aelin and how the revealing of her backstory a bit to Arkady would have been that. But Arkady's deal, quote unquote, with Cahill sold it for me because I really like that.
The meth is getting sold in.
I mean, not really. It's the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Morella would be miserable as the Empress, if we're being honest with ourselves. I mean, it depends on what route you take it, but I don't know. We'll see. But
I mean,
regardless,
it's totally the whole.
I'm sure that is a discussion for a
Surprisingly
later day.
good.
Arkady, you get inspiration. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I realize that perhaps I have been a bit stingy with inspiration, so I'm going to start awarding it to 3 individuals. So I'm going to give you guys a vote, and I'm going to vote 2 people because it's hard to choose on this one. One of my inspirations is going to Morella, most certainly, for the using of the cool head under pressure and like really getting involved with what I really liked. In fact, was the you didn't quite make the identification roll, and you role played it like it's too far away. We have to deal with this right in the way, and that's cool. Like that's a cool like awareness of your surroundings, even in this setting. So you get inspiration. Congratulations.
I already have it.
Okay, well, fine.
Didn't use it once this session. I was waiting.
My
for
other one goes for Hannibal because I think a lot of people are detracting from Hannibal's awesome like thought going into this battle. It's one of the reasons why I made it like really easy is because Hannibal and or I should say Jackson by extension Hannibal like really planned this out really well, and I think kind of took on that role amazingly. So you get my inspiration for making the battle a lot easier on yourself than it could have been.
Yay.
You
Go to
actually
general.
acted like a general.
Yeah, absolutely.
Duh, I am a general.
And that is all she wrote. Hope everyone had fun.
Yes.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
We will play out the aftermath of the battle and the moving of the armies next week.
And my
Anybody-
shooting down of Cahill. I will bring him to the earth.
You mean
Wait, what
Acold?
now?
A cold, yes.
He said
That's
he's
very different.
Yeah, no, that is a very different thought process. Which, by the way, I should mention, this guy has actually been one of our NPCs for a while.
Yep.
I just finally got around to using his token for something. Basically, is how
Yay.
it works. So we're gonna move him up here, and we're gonna reveal the nameplate. There it is. Boom. All right. Does anyone have any final words?
We're not dead.
Yeah,
You're
we're
not
not dead.
You are not
I mean-
dead. Indeed.
That dude hit like a fucking truck. Holy shit.
Yeah. Cool thing about that dude is he's got a special ability that gives him an extra damage dice. So, and he was using a great axe. So do the math.
Gives them what?
An extra damage
Additional
dice.
Damage die. Yeah. I know which one you're talking about. I'm like, man, that ain't fair.
What ability is it?
It's not actually one that the PCs have access to because it's a little broken.
Yeah, it's generally a monster.
Yeah.
Rated
I want it.
ability.
Well, I mean, you do have a great axe. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
give it to me.
anyway, I hope everybody had fun. I had fun. I'm going to do outro. I'll either see you guys in a few minutes or I'll see you next week.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye, stream.
Bye.
Uh,
All right, guys, thanks for showing up. Glad you could be here. It's been wonderful. It's been fantastic. 4 more hours in the books for Siege of the Empire. Glad you all could make it. It's been wonderful seeing you. It's been wonderful having you. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Please let me know if you have, either in the chat or the comments. Follow and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. If you're interested in more things I do, it's all on YouTube. You can go there and check it out. If you're interested, if you're on YouTube now, hey, it's really easy just to, go check it out because you're already there. Am I done selling myself out? Follow my Twitter. You can see it down there at the bottom. We got a new overlay. Isn't that cool? I'm ever more official. It's amazing. I don't really have much else. Thanks everybody for being here. It's been a great stream actually. So makes me really excited for the future. I hope that I get to have your appreciation and give you appreciation for many more years from now. But from all of us to you, may your dice always roll high or low depending on the game system. And always try not to die.